We have so much to talk about in today's recap. Jorge Soler has found himself a brand new team, and staying with power hitters who might be on a new team here soon, Pete Alonso, yeah, the Mets GM, he came out and talked about the future of contract negotiations with Pete Alonso, and it doesn't sound good. Jesse Winker has also found himself a brand new team. He is getting one more chance to try and make it, and Shohei Ohtani, he's back in batting practice, and he's raking. All of that in today's MLB recap, and just a reminder, we post these every single day, so if you want to stay up to date on the game of baseball, join the team. We are so close to 500,000 subscribers. So before we talk about Jorge Soler, Shohei Ohtani, and Pete Alonso, let's talk about the fact that fans across the game of baseball are not happy with the production quality of the new jerseys that MLB will be using in 2024. Let's break it down real quick. Players are now speaking out. Miles Mikolas of the Cardinals came out and said that they don't really fit right. The pants are no longer as customized. The fabric is a little bit inconsistent. Also, they just flat out look cheap. Now, a lot of fans across social media are speaking their minds. They're saying that these brand new jerseys look like they're from DHgate or they're leftover giveaway jerseys that they didn't actually use. Without context, I'm going to show the Marlins uniforms. You guys have to let me know which one looks better. If you chose the one on the left, that's from 2023. If you chose the one on the right, that is for 2024. The numbers are a whole lot smaller. They're also more curved. So if we're talking about a guy like Christian Encarnacion Strand, his name might go down to his ankles with how much they're curving the nameplates on the back of the jerseys going into 2024. Let's take a look at the difference between the 2023 Blue Jays and the 2024. The 2023 was on the right, 2024 is on the left, but MLB did come out today with a press release basically trying to explain why these jerseys are a little bit different. Now, if you guys did not know, in 2019, Nike, MLB, and Fanatics, they all partnered up for the next 10 years. But I believe that this is the very first year that Fanatics is fully in charge of producing the jerseys. Last year in 2023, the only thing that they were in charge of in terms of on-field material was the headwear. In 2024, Nike is simply leasing their logo. They are allowing the Fanatics brand to use the Nike symbol on their jerseys, but Fanatics are the ones that are in charge of producing the jerseys, and a lot of people are not happy with that. But again, MLB put out a press release explaining that the reasons why the jerseys look a little bit different is because they're more performance-based. I guess they're 25% lighter, they're better at wicking moisture or something like that. So maybe that's why the names are a lot smaller. They're not as constricting. Maybe that's why the material feels cheap. Maybe it's just that recycled polyester yarn. I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. I'm just saying what I've seen online from these companies. Another jersey update. We have 9 new teams in 2024 getting a City Connect jersey. Now, one team that was confusing to me, the Dodgers, they're getting one, but they already have a City Connect, so I don't know if they're going to be replacing the all blue that says Los Dodgers or whatever it says, or maybe they're just having another one in addition to. But by the end of 2024, 28 of 30 teams in Major League Baseball will have a City Connect jersey and uniform. The only 2 teams, the Oakland Athletics and obviously the New York Yankees, will they ever get one? I have no idea, because they like to stay on brand, and even those player uniforms from a few years ago, they were just black. Now, one more thing before we talk about Jorge Soler's brand new team, Ohtani. He took the field yesterday. His first batting practice happened 146 days after his surgery.
Boom! Boom!
And if you guys don't remember, that's right on pace with Bryce Harper's historic return to actually being the DH for the Phillies. He took batting practice for the first time 143 days after his surgery. And to me, that just spells good news for Jason Dominguez, and hopefully he's ahead of schedule as well. All right, the moment that you've all been waiting for, Jorge Soler has chosen the San Francisco Giants on a $42 million contract over the next 3 years. And my first thought was, you're telling me no other team in baseball could beat this offer for one of the best power hitters in baseball, $14 million a year for the next 3 years? That's a deal in my opinion. Now, maybe you think that contract is justified because Jorge Soler has shown to be one of the more inconsistent hitters in baseball. He had a 95 OPS plus in 2022. He turns around and has a 128 OPS plus in 2023 with 36 home runs and a 341 on base percentage. And that's because he took his walks again in 2023. He just saw the ball a little bit better. Jorge Soler is going to be entering his age 32 season. And a few years ago, at 27 years old, he led baseball with 48 home runs. He played in every single game. He's had a few more injuries since that point, but again, you're talking about a premier power hitter. Jorge Soler for $14 million. To me, I think that he's better than Jock Peterson, and I'm cool with this contract. Now, if we take a look at the projected lineup against righties going into 2024, they have Jung-Ho Lee as the leadoff hitter, followed by Thairo Estrada, who broke out last year. Lamont Wade still rakes. Jorge Soler. They have Michael Conforto slated as the 5 hitter with Wilmer Flores, who again raked last year. Mike Yastrzemski, Patrick Bailey, who is a defensive wizard as a catcher. He's also really good against lefties. And then Marco Luciano. This guy is the key to the entire team. Also, JD Davis, I feel like he could fit in this lineup as well. But Marco, he could be the face of the franchise. That's how good he is as a young player, but he just has to put it together. So if we're taking a look at what the Giants have done this offseason, we can see that they've added Jorge Soler. They signed Amir Garrett and a bunch of other guys to a minor league contract. They picked up the former relief pitcher that throws gas, Jordan Hicks, but they're going to use him as a starting pitcher. They've also added Jung-Ho Lee, and then guys that they've lost, of course, Brandon Crawford, he's not going to be back, Jock Peterson, Alex Wood. Do you think that their additions have outweighed their subtractions? To me, I feel like they're a much better team. Now, before we talk about Pete Alonso and his contract situation with the Mets, Jesse Winker has been given a minor league contract, a Hail Mary contract for the former All-Star slugger. From 2022 to 2023, Jesse Winker has combined for a .214 batting average and a paltry 91 OPS plus, and he's only had 15 home runs over his last 197 games. And the saddest part is, in 2021, he broke out for 24 home runs with a .305 batting average. He had a .950 OPS, and if you take a look at his baseball savant, he was tearing covers off baseballs. If we fast forward to 2023, all of the exit velocities and barrel percentages, they fell off a cliff. So he still takes his walk at an elite level, but that's about it. He also sucks at defense. So let's get the update on Pete Alonso and his contract situation. As you can see, he is a free agent in 2025. That means that after the conclusion of the 2024 season, he is set to hit the market, and apparently him and the Mets are very far apart on contract extensions.
I think that's probably the most likely outcome. We're not going to get into the specifics of any particular negotiation. I'm not going to provide you guys updates on any conversations that exist back and forth. Look, when you have a really talented player who's really good, who's entering his final year of club control, who happens to be represented by Scott Boras, these things generally end up into free agency.
Do we think that Pete Alonso is going to be a Met after the month of July? If you guys don't remember, the trade deadline is usually August 1st. Is he going to get traded if they can't come to a conclusion on this contract extension before he becomes a free agent and they lose him for nothing? I have no idea. We haven't done Immaculate Grid in a few weeks, and I found one with the Guardians, so let's see if we can get this done. The Guardians and the Reds. Who's played for the Guardians and the Reds? Here's one that you guys might have forgotten about. Jay Bruce, 4%, a 6-WAR season. I'm going to go Knapp, Lajway, and 2%. No one's going to get that one. A 30 home run season for the Guardians. I could go with Lindor. I could go with Ramirez. What about an older player like Albert Bell? I know there's some Jim Thome's in there. I'm going to come back to that because I want to get a low pick. We have the Reds and the Royals. I'm going to go Amir Garrett. I think that he pitched a good amount, so 3%. We're still under 10% for every single one. A 6+ WAR season for the Royals. I could go George Brett. I feel like Lorenzo Cain and Alex Gordon might have had 6. I'm going to go Lorenzo Cain. I feel like this one could be a little bit sneaky, and I know he was really good. 5%. This is awesome. 30+ home run season for the Royals. I could go with Jorge Soler. I know he had 48 back in 2017 because we talked about that in this video. I'll come back to that one. The Reds and the Marlins. The Reds and the Marlins. Wasn't Cueto. I feel like this is where my 10% streak is going to get ruined. 30%. Okay, I don't care anymore. A 6-WAR season for the Marlins. We're going to go Giancarlo. At the time, I think it was Mike Stanton, but I don't remember. A 30 home run season for the Marlins. Let's go with back in the day, who was a slugging power hitter aside from Stanton. Actually, you know what? Let's just go with Jorge Soler for the Marlins because I feel like the Royals might be a more fun team to try and get a 30+ home run. Didn't George Brett? I'm going to go George Brett because he's one of my favorite players of all time. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm going to try and do someone a bit more random for the 30 home run Guardians player, and I could go with maybe an Edwin Encarnacion. I'm thinking about other power hitters recently like Franmil. What about Franmil Reyes? I feel like he had 30 on the dot, I remember, a few years ago. Yes, he did, apparently. But that's going to do it for today's recap. If you guys made it all the way until the end, you'd probably like these videos going forward. So if you've not hit that subscribe button yet, do me a favor, join the team, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.